Alrighty then, Successful Indie Author 5-Minute Focus, episode 545. Choosing a title for your book or for your story. There's Stanley. He just came in here. He was sleeping on the couch. Alright, choosing a title. You want to make your title memorable, easy for people to remember, so in case a friend talks about it, they can then find it much easier on Amazon. Aligned with your series, it needs to be aligned. If you have more than one book in a series, they need to have a comparable naming convention, kind of a style. For one of my series, a thriller series, I called the title "People Raged and the Sky Was on Fire." Okay, that was a little bit ridiculous, and so I renamed it later, "People Raged," subtitle, "and the Sky Was on Fire." So that's not optimal for search words because that subtitle has nothing to do with a political techno thriller, but the book works. I think that's my best book, but people raged. All right, now that's not too bad because the cover is very, very techno thriller. So people are drawn in by the title. They'll see the cover, read the blurb, then that clarifies everything. But still not optimal. But I made it a long, long time ago, and so I was kind of stuck with it. Like The Free Trader of Warren Deep, not optimal. But once I box set, Free Trader books 1 to 9, that sold great. Free Trader of Warren Deep, that was a hard push. And that one, it's like an old Robert E. Howard that was the Western and not the Sword and Sorcery version. So mine was the Gamma World version, but it had a Western kind of title. So once again, not great aligned, but once I boxed it, that took care of everything. Make sure you search when you check titles. One of my books, I wanted to call it Domination because it was the domination of one group over another in an epic space battle. However, on Amazon, when I searched Domination, I got like 4 pages of S&M titles. Mine wasn't S&M. So I didn't want to get mixed in with that, and so I eventually called it Discovery, but I caught it before I published, so thank goodness we had the right name on the title, on the cover before we went live. So search. I just search Amazon because Amazon has a gazillion books, makes it real easy. Do not go onto Google and just search Domination. Your Google search will be screwed up forever. And then now make sure it's not trademarked. Mickey Mouse and the Harry Potter and the Harry Potter is trademarked. Mickey Mouse is trademarked. So don't go there. Try to stay away from those. In the U.S., copyright. If somebody has copyrighted a something with their book, of course a book is copyrighted, but titles cannot be copyrighted in the U.S. and the UK. But you get to Germany, the title is copyrighted. However, it's a pretty easy system where you contact another author that has the same title, and they can give you permission. Yeah, no problem. But still, be aware that it's not the same in every country. I try to make my new titles as short as possible. Sometimes long titles work, but as short as possible. It just makes it easier for people to remember, makes it easier for people to search. It makes it bigger that you can put it on the cover, big, so people can see it. Why? Because buying habits nowadays, a lot of people are buying off their phones. So make sure that the graphic looks good at thumbnail size and that they can read your title. So there it is, the title, and then they get the blurb and can read more about it. But phone, make sure it looks good on the phone. So that's why the long title, it disappears because the phone only has so much that it'll show. And especially some people like me who blow up their text, you don't see more than a couple words on the side before it starts wrapping around. So make sure it's easy to read, which then easy, you got to make it easy on the buyers because then they'll buy. If you make it too hard on them, then they'll bail out. We're not that kind of society where people will suffer through something just to find out what it's all about. Nope, we don't just go stand in line for 3 hours because we're wondering what is at the end of the line. That's not the 21st century. All right, title must go on the cover. So like I said about my People Raged, and the Sky Was on Fire. I didn't have to change the covers to fit the new 2-word version of the title. But the title must go on the cover. You can't have a cover that's just artwork without a title. You got to squeeze it on there somewhere. Now it doesn't have to pop out, but it makes it easier if it does. And that's why shorter titles, you can make them really big, and so people can read them. All right, there's a title. Goes on every book, goes on every story.